Good morning and welcome to the Friday, August 28th, 2020 school committee meeting. It is 9:34 a.m. All members are present. I am calling this meeting to order. Pursuant to the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, paragraph 20, as well as the Select Board's emergency order dated March 16th, 2020, the Holliston School Committee will be using remote participation for this meeting. The audio of this meeting is being recorded and will be posted to the HCAT webpage within 24 hours in accordance with the governor's emergency action requirement of keeping the public informed of actions during this meeting. I ask that all participants remotely attending please state your name for identification purposes each time you speak. At this time, I will call roll call attendance. Mr. Morton.
Present.
Mrs. Listevnik.
Present.
Ms. Naborski.
Present.
Dr. Savard.
Present.
Ms. Hanstead.
Present.
Mrs. Raffi is present, and Ms. Koshin will be joining us shortly. At this point, I will accept a motion for executive session for the purposes of collective bargaining with the HFT Teachers Union for strategy purposes, for which we will return to open session.
Moved by Dawn.
Is there a motion?
Moved by Andy.
Second by Dawn.
Moved by Andy, seconded by Dawn. Roll call vote. Mr. Morton?
Yes.
Ms. Hanstead? She looks frozen. Ms. Naborski?
Yes.
Mrs. Listevnik?
Yes.
Dr. Savard?
Yes.
Ms. Hanstead?
Yes.
Mrs. Raffi, yes. Okay, it is 9:36. We will move into executive session. Good morning. Today is Thursday. No, what is today? Today's Friday.
Friday.
August 28th. It is 10:17. I'm calling our meeting back into open session. All members are present. Good morning to everyone. We have just a couple of agenda items. Hopefully we will move through this really quickly. Just want to update the committee and the community on a few things. Dr. Kuska, can you start with the safety manual?
Sure, I can pop it up on my screen. Actually, Keith, I need you to make me a co-host.
I just allowed screen sharing, so there you go.
It's hard to see it. I did put it up a little larger, but let me see if I can close out of that. All right, so we have been working to create a safety manual as a staff really want to be clear on all of the safety plans, and a lot of the safety information was in our reopening plan. A lot of our procedures for facilities for sanitizing and cleaning and so forth are in that reopening plan. But we did, because it was something that staff really wanted to have in place so that we can make sure that everybody's clear of the expectations for safety, health and safety and cleaning procedures. Keith and I worked on this document, which is about 22 pages long. It does include our health and safety portions of our reopening plan, as well as a lot of our facilities and cleaning information from the plan. And then we added some more specific details. So at this point, it is 22 pages long. And we had very good conversations with a number of our HFT team members to work on some of the language together. And we are ready to finalize this plan. It's not a policy or procedure. It's just a manual helping our teachers and all staff to understand some of the needs of the district related to COVID-19. We feel really good about it, and we want to be able to finalize it and post it on our website as a staff resource. I also would like to send it out to all staff through our Power School and have people sign off that they had read this, because it's going to be helpful for them as they move into the school year. And I think it'll just be a nice communication tool for staff to have to be able to work through and navigate the issues related to COVID-19 and have safety in the building.
I just want to reiterate that, again, that most of this was taken directly from the school reopening plan. And then Keith and Susan did go, they pulled this together within hours overnight to provide something that was in a separate document that will be available on our website. So thank you for that. Your efforts do not go unnoticed. Committee members, do any of you have any questions about anything that's in there?
I can't see the document. Well, I'm only seeing one page of it. So,
Well, I did Susan share it?
You know what? I don't think I did share it. I apologize for that.
Okay.
That was my fault. I should have shared it last night. So I will add you to that list so you can look at it.
Okay. But this is something the committee is not voting on. This is an FYI to us.
I just want to acknowledge the effort too that's gone into this. I really, it's been extraordinary. They have added additional content since the initial plan was published, and they're working 24/7 to try to make sure every T is crossed and I is dotted. And there is some input from staff as well here. So it's so appreciated. So thank you.
Yes, and I think, as you all know, we all want our students and staff back to school safely. Our goal is still that we are committed to having as many students back in person as possible that are desiring to be in person for learning by September 16th. We do still have some items to work through with our union members, and we are working through those. And I'm very optimistic at this time that we'll be able to resolve any questions or concerns, and that we will be able to move forward with the reopening plan. I've mentioned that to all, and I sat in at least at the beginning of all our family Q&As and our staff Q&As as much as possible. And that is the message that I want to give. We're all working for the same end result, is that we want to have our K-3 students back in person 5 days a week. And we want to have our 4 to 12 students back in person in a hybrid model. And then there are some groups of students that we are prioritizing for high needs reasons that would be also back 5 days a week in the in-person model at the grades 4 to 12 for high needs reasons. So that is still the goal. We're very committed to that. We're hoping we can resolve any minor details, and sooner than later, I'm hoping to be able to reach out to parents and let them know that we're ready to move forward, and that hopefully there will not be any changes to that. Again, we're very positive about the process, and we're very committed to the process. And I just thank the community for their patience, because these are very trying times, and we all want what's best for children. And that's really the message that I want to send today.
Susan, can you unshare your screen so I can see all the members? Sorry. Okay, here we go. Cynthia, question?
Is there the idea that this would be sort of a living document that would be updated as necessary based on guidance, et cetera, or?
Yes, just like our reopening plan, anything that we change in there as far as the health and safety and facilities would then be changed and reflected in here as well. And that's what I've been asking. Anytime I make changes, I have Dan updated on the website. I think I already have a change to the reopening plan that's also in here. Lynn Bowler and her nurses worked on some additional guidance around lunches and just safety and procedures for that. So I added that in here, and I'll be updating the reopening plan on the website as well.
Dawn?
And will this include the policy on face coverings once it goes through its additional readings and we vote on it? Will this policy manual also include that?
I already referenced it in there, so once we have the final thing, I can actually put the link right in there. Would be great.
Catherine?
I know this is for staff, but is this something that parents are going to be able to read through also? Because some parents have been asking about the protocols for staff.
I see no reason why I wouldn't post it as a staff resource on the website, and there'll be a link in our fall reopening resources, because as I mentioned, a lot of the information is already in the reopening plan. This just has additional information that parents may or may not be interested in because it's more specific to staff. But yeah, certainly it's a living, breathing document, and there's no secrets to it.
Well, I think Susan, in some ways, this is just easier than going through the 48 pages.
Yeah.
If they have safety questions, it's easier for them to go through this than the other one.
Exactly.
Doesn't it includes what the protocols are for students, because the staff wanted to be aware of that as well. So it's kind of comprehensive to the district community, isn't it?
It doesn't have all the student pieces, but if there was a specific student piece that impacted what staff need to know, for example, during lunch, how students behave and act, then it is in there. So there's not 100% of the student pieces in there, but quite a bit.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you for that. Cynthia is going to do the second reading of policy Ebcfa. And actually, Susan had mentioned to me last time, it would be a good idea if we shared the screen so people can sort of read along. So I'm going to have Susan share the document.
I just sent it again to everyone. Because I think the one that Mike had just sent was different, that Chief Cassidy had sent.
And this will be our second reading, and we do have the opportunity to waive the third reading so we can actually implement this policy as is. So with that, Mrs. Listevnik, here you go.
Okay. So, are you going to share that, Susan? I mean, I'm just going to read it. It's easier for me just to read it from my document.
Sure. Yeah, and I have it up on the screen now. I have it up.
Okay, let me just see if it's the same one though. Hold on a second.
I just put the one in that you sent me.
Okay, good. Then yes, all right. Okay. The Holliston Public Schools, HPS, is committed to providing a safe environment as schools reopen during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to public health experts, one of the best ways to stop the spread of coronavirus and to keep members of our school community safe is the use of face masks or face coverings. Therefore, in accordance with guidance from the Centers for Disease Control, CDC, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, DESE, and the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, DPH, the following requirements are in place until further notice. An appropriate face covering can be disposable or reusable and must be clean, fully cover the nose and mouth and secure under the chin, be made with at least 2 layers of breathable material, fit snugly but comfortably against the side of the face, and be secured with ties or ear loops. More tightly woven materials, such as cotton fabrics with higher thread counts, are preferable, while elastic materials are not recommended due to higher pore size and lower filtration efficiency, based on Harvard 2020 study. Based on guidance from health authorities, neck gaiters, open chin triangle bandanas, and face coverings containing valves, mesh material, or holes of any kind will not be considered appropriate. Further, face coverings are not required to be surgical masks or respirators, such as N95 masks. A face mask or face covering that covers the nose and mouth must be worn by all individuals in school buildings, on school grounds, and on school transportation, even when physical distancing is observed. All students in grades preschool through 12 plus are expected to wear a face covering as described above. Individuals may be excused from the requirement for the following list of reasons per CDC guidance. The individual, has trouble breathing, is unconscious, is incapacitated, cannot remove the mask or face covering without assistance. Furthermore, face masks or face coverings will not be required for anyone who has a medical, behavioral, or other challenge making it unsafe to wear a mask or face covering. A written note from a physician is required for requested exemption. Parents may not excuse their child from the face mask requirement by signing a waiver. Additionally, face masks or face coverings are not required as noted below during supervised mask breaks, while eating or drinking, during physical education classes that take place outside at least 10 feet apart, during outdoor recess. Exceptions to this policy under certain circumstances, such as for students with medical, behavioral, or other challenges who are unable to wear masks, must be approved by the building principal in consultation with the school nurse or local board of health. Face shields or physical barriers may provide an alternative in some instances. A student's mask or face covering is to be provided by the student's parent/guardians. Staff members are responsible for providing their own face coverings. However, HPS will supply disposable face coverings for individuals who arrive at a building or board school transportation without one. If students are in violation of this policy, the building principal will consult with the parent/guardians to determine whether an exception is appropriate, or the student may be removed from the school building for in-person learning until such time as they can comply with the requirement or the requirement is lifted. Violations of this policy by staff will be handled in the same manner as other violations of school committee policy. Visitors in violation of this policy will be denied entry to the school/district facility. This policy will remain in place until rescinded by the school committee. And then below there's legal references. From the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, CDC, Department of DESE, Department of, mass.gov, Harvard study, and then also a Johns Hopkins coronavirus face mask as well. Okay.
Lisa?
I can't say them. Okay.
Do we want to say anything about graphics on the face mask? I mean, is there, because we have something I know about what you can and can't wear to school in terms of t-shirts and slogans and political stuff or whatever. I'm wondering if we need to say anything about
does that fall under dress code, and maybe we should just reference dress code?
Yeah, that's
I
what
think
was
that it
gonna
would
say.
fall under that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it needs to be separate for this.
Okay, so could
Does that
we,
make sense?
But
Sure. You want me to reference that?
yeah, I'm thinking
Okay.
maybe just, you know.
Dawn, did you want to say
I've seen
something?
a
I'll put it
lot
on
of
there.
different kinds
Just
of.
to reference dress code, it's going to fall under the same thing that, you know, hat or a t-shirt said something, right? Hat, t-shirt,
Yeah.
shorts. So reference dress code.
I'll pull up that policy. I don't know what the. I'll have to look it up. Hold on.
Any other questions or comments about the policy?
So just so everybody knows, we have spoken with Lynn Bowler was involved in the policy, was with us yesterday, revising it. Chief Cassidy did weigh in, but I don't see what change that he made. She said some minor edit, but I can't see whether there was something different from what I just provided. There was something that was repetitive that I cut out because we had already said that we would provide face masks for those who showed up without one, or one that was appropriate. Go ahead, Anne Louise, sorry.
on that point, there's how do I describe it? Our policy with respect to staff is slightly different, where we will provide staff with it. For students, I think it's in the instance of, you know, if a child forgets it, loses it, damages it, of course we will provide a mask in that event. But the way it's written right now, it sort of it leaves the impression that if you don't want to wear your own, I know we have the other statement. I don't know, I'm thinking out loud. That's not always helpful, but do you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I can't talk about the barking stuff about it.
No. But it's more the student piece. It's more the student piece I'm concerned about. It says if they show up without it. So,
right.
You know, if the child just shows up every day without it, we're in a position where we're providing it. And I don't think that's the intent here.
I don't think that, no, that isn't the intent here. I think it's more that if there's an issue with their particular mask, I mean, we're telling them that parents have to provide it. So we will have a supply of disposable masks for individuals who arrive in the event that it gets soiled or something else could happen.
Right.
So I think that's the intent behind it. It's very, this is a very standard one that all of the other area districts have used. So
it's totally fine. It's totally fine. I'm just thinking out loud. That's probably
I hear you though. Everybody else good? I will add the dress code number. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I'll add it. And I've been getting texts from Lynn Bowler. She wants to make sure that she can include all that information in there, particularly around the neck gaiters and bandanas, because she does not feel like that those are appropriate in any way. So, so if we're good with that, we can go ahead and vote, I suppose, Stacy, if that's okay.
Right. Do we need to vote to waive the third reading?
Oh, yes, thank you.
We actually have to.
We do have to vote to waive the third reading because it's in here.
So is there a motion to approve policy EBCFA as amended this morning with the addition of the reference to the dress code? And were there any other amendments that I should be mentioning? Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
Moved by Dawn.
Seconded by Lisa.
Moved by Dawn, seconded by Lisa. Roll call vote. Ms. Koshin?
Yes.
Mrs. Listevnik?
Yes.
Dr. Savard?
Yes.
Ms. Naborski?
Yes.
Mr. Morton?
Yes.
Ms. Hanstead?
Yes.
Mrs. Raffi? Yes. Is there a motion to waive the third reading of policy EBCFA as per our school committee policy?
Moved by Dawn.
Seconded by Lisa.
Moved by Dawn, seconded by Lisa. Roll call vote. Ms. Koshin?
Yes.
Mrs. Listevnik?
Yes.
Dr. Savard?
Yes.
Ms. Naborski?
Yes.
Mr. Morton?
Yes.
Ms. Hanstead?
Yes.
Mrs. Raffi? Yes. Excellent. Thank you all. Thank you, Cynthia, for running that charge. And finally, we have a quick discussion on unpaid leaves of absences.
Yes, it's a provision of our contract, our teacher's contract, that they can ask for an unpaid leave for 1 year. So in confidentiality, I'm not sharing names of the members. They'll get a letter from my office, but just it does note in the contract that the committee approves the leaves of absence. So I have 3 employees that are requesting unpaid leaves of absence for the year for various reasons. 2 of them are covered under Article 10, Section I, and 2 of them, and the other one is covered under Article 10, Section G. And we have no problem supporting these staff members so that they may return back to work the following school year. We just really need to have your approval on that, the finalization of that process.
Can you say what those articles are, what those articles cover?
Article 10I is a leave of absence without pay for a period of up to 1 school year, may be granted by a teacher with professional teacher status. At the discretion of the committee, a teacher granted such a leave will be offered a contract at the expiration of the leave, provided that 95 days prior to I'm having trouble reading the language. It's so tiny, to be honest with Lisa, but it is just an unpaid leave of absence that guarantees their job back.
Okay, it doesn't have to state a reason.
No.
Okay.
And then Article G.
You don't have to read, if it doesn't state a reason for the leave, you don't need to read it.
I'll just say that the Article G relates to parental leave and non-birth parental leave.
Okay.
All right.
Are there any other questions? Okay, is there a motion to approve the 3 unpaid leaves of absences per school committee policy?
Moved by Andy.
Seconded by Catherine.
Moved by Andy, seconded by Catherine. Roll call vote. Ms. Koshin,
Yes.
Mrs. Listevnik,
Yes.
Dr. Savard,
Yes.
Ms. Naborski,
Yes.
Mr. Morton,
Yes.
Ms. Hanstead,
Yes.
Mrs. Raffi, yes. Thank you all. I've asked Mr. Boudet to update you all on the warrants that I signed last night because I actually walked out before I made a photocopy of them. So I'm giving Mr. Boudet authority to report the warrants on my behalf.
Chairperson, Raffi signed a school bill warrant in the amount of $334,274.41, of which $9,183 were COVID expenses. The reason I'm reporting the COVID expenses as a separate entity contained in this warrant is a request from the select board, since they are controlling their piece of the COVID, of their CARES money. They wanted it to be a mindful, purposeful vote by you all, that you're not just voting for a $300,000 warrant or approving a $300,000 warrant without knowing what's in the COVID piece. So we added that as a separate piece within that number. So just so you don't think I'm going crazy here. The next warrant, next is a school bill warrant for $212,618.46, of which $178,640.36 was COVID related. That's based on a large $162,000 purchase with Dell Computer for more technology for our teachers that was approved at town meeting. The next warrant is another school bill warrant for $113,735.16, of which $9,852.33 was COVID related, and a cafeteria bill warrant in the amount of $5,311.07.
Thank you, Keith.
And I just want to, just as long as I have I'm off mute, I just want to say that we will actually not have to have a bus lottery based on the request so far. Miller is snug, as I suggested, but we had 45 families request 45 seats for the Miller run. And we had, 63 people turn it down. So we actually ended up with net positive seats from people who relinquished their seats. So again, right now, there's no lottery. Miller is snug. The high school, middle school is going to be snug. but it's still actually, there's some seats there. The Miller has very few, if any, seats, depending on how routes work. And
It's not really going to be snug. They have a whole bench to themselves, right? I mean, let's be clear here. Cheeks on the seats are like, there's only one.
Very accurate. But yes, it's going to be snug with or limited available seats. How about that? Thank you, Cynthia. But yeah, so right now we're in great shape. We're going to be sending out the next phase of this is we're going to be sending out an email either today or Monday, inviting people to come and pay their $240 fee, which they can do online. We created an account online so they could do it either through the town's website or send us a check directly or hand over COVID-free cash. So we're good with that, and I'm done.
Great. No, that's
awesome.
excellent.
I mean, everybody who wanted a seat gets one.
Great.
As
Is that
long as they
just
ask for
Miller
one.
or
How
all
about that?
Was that just for Miller or was that for everyone?
That's everyone. We've accommodated every single family who made a request.
So
That's great.
just Keith, I've been copied on a couple of emails. Were you able to respond to the ones that I was on and all
Yes,
stuff?
the latest one I have not yet because I can't find that person's children. So I have to reach out to her to find out what her children's names are. They're different than hers, and I can't find her. So there's a power school disconnect right now with her children, but she only had 2 children, and so I can accommodate 2 in any of my runs right now. So
Excellent.
That's
Great.
great.
Well done. Well
Finally,
done.
good news. Woohoo!
luck. We're not going to go luck. We're going to go luck. So.
Finally, some good news.
So with that being said, it is 10:44. Dr. Kuska and Mr. Boudet have another obligation that they need to go jump on the call. I should finish that sentence. It is 10:44. Is there a motion? Before I say that, our next school committee meeting will be next Thursday, September 3rd. Time is to be determined based on us being able to schedule that. Team, I will email you a little bit later with time options. With that being said, it's 10:44. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Moved by Cynthia.
Second by Dawn.
Moved by Cynthia, seconded by Dawn. Roll call vote. Ms. Koshin,
Yes.
Mrs. Listevnik,
Yes.
Ms. Hanstead,
Yes.
Ms. Naborski,
Yes.
Dr. Savard,
Yes.
Mr. Morton,
Yes.
Mrs. Raffi, yes. Wishing you all a lovely afternoon and weekend. Goodbye. See you soon.
Stay safe, everybody. Bye.